This episode of the Watt Community Show is sponsored by Tor Books and our Patreon supporters. Be sure to check out Tor's epic fantasy holiday sweepstakes to win 5 books from acclaimed authors Kel Cade, Jen Lyons, and Robert Jordan.
I'm Ebony.
I'm Thom.
And I'm Kitty.
Welcome everybody to the Watt Community Show. I'm your host for today, Thom, and this is our 5th episode. And let's give it up for that musical intro, right? How about that? That was pretty awesome, right? Let's just get a little round of applause, Yeah. All right, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Be honest. Give you a little behind the scenes insight. That was actually a little jingle that we found on an old CD of royalty-free music. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fun little beat, and it sets up the ridiculousness, fun tone of the show. We got plans, and oh boy, do we have some plans for some new music, so at least you get that to look forward to. Speaking of new music and Wheel of Time, we have a very special guest today. He's a man of immense musical talent. But I'm going to tease you guys with that to make you just wait a little bit longer. I know, everyone relax, patience, we'll get to him in a few minutes. So first, before we get to said person, let's see what we got cooking on the old interwebs on the, Watt TV news. Things have remained mostly quiet in Prague, other than, the little tidbits here and there on Twitter from the actors. But there have been some rumors. Oh, there have been rumors. Some of the more concrete stuff that we know for sure has come from Prague from none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Sanderson. While he was over there promoting Starsight, which is a sequel to Skyward, it's one of Brandon's first forays into science fiction. And let me say, really, it's fantastic. I love it. So while he was in Prague, he posted a photo which was taken by the set photographer, actually, for the Wheel of Time TV show, of him standing in front of a misty forest setting. And he also posted the picture with some text, and I'm going to be paraphrasing here a little bit, but he said that he was very impressed with Rafe's writing on the show, and that he found the acting to be on point. He said the sets look great, and the production was very high quality. He also did give some of his feelings on the script. He said that things are, underlined, actually it was italicized, the word are. Things are changing from the books. And some of the changes he 100% agrees with, and that there were some that he was feeling more uncertain on. He's listed as a producer, but he acts more of as a script consultant on the show. So that was interesting. So I'm all sure we're happy about that. Honestly though, I cannot wait for new Wheel of Time. Because that's what we're going to be getting here. That's what this is. It's not the books. If you want to read, if you just want the books over again, then just go read them. They're right there. They're right over there. Just pick them up and read them if that's what you want. This is going to be something new. It's going to be new Wheel of Time. And honestly, I can't wait to see it and then to discuss it with you guys. Really excited about that. There were some other very interesting developments that went under the radar somewhat here for the Watt TV show. And here to tell us more about that is our senior TV style analyst, Ebony. What's up, Ebony?
Hi, Thom. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for, wow. Did you,
Change my hair?
Yeah, that.
Yep, sure did. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, man, it's on point. It's fabulous.
Thanks. But I'm not the only one that changed my hair. A couple of weeks ago, Madeliene Madden, the actress playing Egwene Lanfear, posted a picture of herself with short hair on Instagram.
Yeah, that was a cute do as well. Yes, it was.
Right? It's so cute. But there's some significance to this, and I wonder how this affects
Braiding her hair was a big deal for Egwene in the books. The books started with her finally happy that her hair was long enough to put into a braid, which for Two Rivers women, that signified them coming into adulthood and becoming of marrying age. But she dropped that real quick. She let it loose once Moraine dangled the possibility of her becoming an Aes Sedai under her nose.
Exactly. Loose, or at least not braided. So with Madeleine's hair cut short, how are they going to work this into the story? Are the producers going to simplify things and have her start with a long braid and then have her cut it to show her own independence? What do you think?
As always, a great point. But instead of what I think, what do you think? What do you think the significance of Madeleine's new haircut is? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks, Ebony. See you later.
You're welcome, Tom. See you next time.
Man, all this talk of braids kind of makes me want to try braiding my beard. What do you think? You think it'll look good? Braid my beard? Maybe a little dwarven action? I think it'll look good. I don't know. Anyway, in other non-hair related news, 2 weeks ago was the 20th, man, I'm old, 20th Wheel of Time video game anniversary, which I just so happen to have a copy of. I own one. It's right here. It was originally released in 1999 on Windows by Legend Entertainment, and the game was all right, I guess. It was okay, especially at the time. It's a first-person shooter, which I think universally everybody thinks is strange for Robert Jordan's books. You know, pretty sure everyone would expect a Wheel of Time video game to be a RPG, or at least maybe like a third-person action-adventure game. Funny, that was the original plan, but RJ shut that down when he realized that that would mean another person writing in his world. And even in video game form, I guess that just wasn't something that he can get behind. Especially, I think, at the time, you know, we were only on book 8, which is Path of Daggers. So developer Glenn Dahlgren over at Legend and his team, they adapted a game that was kind of like an action shooter. So it features You're an Aes Sedai that disappointingly has very little channeling ability. And instead, she uses Terangriel instead of guns to attack Shadowspawn and Dreadlords and Dark Friends and stuff like that. They did an okay job, and fans, I think, at least I do, mostly look back on the game fondly. 20 years later, here we are. The rights for the Watt game kind of, you know, unknown. Maybe they're in limbo. Probably, I think, at least maybe held by Sony. The last, personally, that I heard about a Wheel of Time video game was from Red Eagle Games. Yep, the same Red Eagle, which thankfully sold their rights to Sony TV for film adaptation. There hasn't even been a rumor lately of a Wheel of Time video game, or even a hint of one. But I think, at least, that it's safe to say if the TV show does well, then we will probably see something, especially with Sony producing the show. And for real, though, after seeing some of the Sony exclusives, like the PlayStation exclusives of God of War, especially Horizon Zero Dawn, I think you could take to the bank that any kind of game PlayStation releases for the Wheel of Time will be awesome. And it will probably be on PlayStation 5, which is right around the corner, and that makes me exponentially more excited. That's lots of fascinating history here for this 20-year-old video game. If you want to learn more about it, Adam Whitehead's got an article over on Dragonmount. It's called The Wheel of Time Video Game Celebrates 20 Years, and the links will be in the notes. Earlier, I promised y'all a special guest, and the wait is over. His name is Nikhil Koparkar. He's a pro music composer for films, TV, video games, and he's got a lot of cool credits to his name. Honestly, we've found him to be delightful. At the end of July, earlier this year, Nikhil worked with the Budapest Orchestra, and they made a thematic composition which was based on the Wheel of Time. It's fantastic. If you want to listen to a sample, here it is. Wow. Just wow. Whew, man. I'm delighted to welcome our special guest, Nikhil Koparkar.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Honestly, that music was amazing. Tell me, what's the story behind it? What was your overall goal when you created this piece?
Right, so I'm relatively new to Wheel of Time, actually. I started reading a few months ago, and what drew me into the books immediately really was the rich world building and the character development, and not only that though, not only the plot points, but also the internal politics and the strife between the characters and how that evolves over time. I just find it to be so addicting. And that world that Robert Jordan created is just so unique, really. I'm very fascinated by Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism. I grew up in an Indian household, so I was exposed to the concepts of like reincarnation and spirituality quite early on. And to have a Celtic high fantasy explore that and have that be a crux of the plot is so rare, you know, and it was very inspiring to me to read. Basically what I ended up doing was I ended up spending way too much of my own money and hiring the Budapest Orchestra to record a theme. And I recorded it on July 31st. And when I booked the session, actually, I hadn't written a note. I think it was a couple weeks prior. So I just had a couple weeks to scramble and put it together. I did it just because I like to impose those kinds of deadlines on myself anyways. And I feel like, you know, magic can happen through that. And so just through reading the books and studying the maps, this music was really a gut reaction to how I felt about the books. So it's great to be able to share it with you all.
Did you have any specific scenes in mind from the books when you composed this piece?
Right. So, you know, I was thinking about the series and what a TV adaptation would really feel like. And assuming, you know, that the showrunner, Rafe, decides to go like a book or a book and a half per season or something like that, I figured the first season would probably encapsulate at least, you know, the first couple of books at most. So within those, before the tone really starts to change around book 3, I felt like there was a sense of timeless adventure there. There was a darkness, but there was an adventurous quality to that darkness. And that was something I really wanted to capture more than anything else. I think it would have been really cool to have some scenes, you know, kind of alluded to within that piece of music. But, you know, given the grandiosity of Wheel of Time, it's just very difficult to make, you know, a couple minutes of music and have it encapsulate so many different aspects of the book. So really, more than anything else, I wanted to go the direction of a feeling, which was that kind of ageless, formless, timeless sense of adventure, and alluding to the darkness that would be much more prevalent later on in the series. So I was trying to evoke that feeling more than anything else.
And what were the most important ideas that you wanted to convey with this composition?
Right. So, you know, at least to my mind, the one thing that really struck me about the Wheel of Time series is throughout the books, the characters, you know, start to experience more and more of a sense of deja vu, like they'd said something before, been there before. So there was kind of this time folding into itself kind of feel to it, and it did have a cyclical nature to it. So I really tried to, you know, kind of encapsulate that into a piece of music. So the melody kind of popped into my head around book 2. I was studying the maps quite a bit at that time, and, you know, I was thinking about what Rand must have felt like when he gets to Camelin or Tar Valon for the first time, and I really tried to capture that through the melody. So once the melody popped into my head, I really tried to kind of chisel away at it until it was, you know, as simple as possible and almost feeling like the melody itself could fold into itself. You know, it's just got that like very simple da 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 da. So I was trying to make it as motif and like hardcore melody as I possibly could for that part.
The Wheel of Time is really known for its grand scope. Are there any specific techniques that you use to bring that into this piece specifically?
You know, I figure with something like Wheel of Time, which is so epic in scope, it really needs a defined melody, a defined theme. I grew up being very influenced by like Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings score, or John Williams' various scores for like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, E.T. And, you know, the things that always struck me about those were that they were melodies that one could hum, but also belonged in the world in which they're set, or for a specific scene that they were set. It never kind of overshadowed that. So that was something I was really influenced by, that style of motif writing, and the idea of repeating a melody a few times throughout the piece, and kind of really letting it build in the intensity. So in this particular piece that I wrote as an homage to Wheel of Time, I tried to make it start off much more slow and brooding, and kind of allude more to the darkness, but also the timelessness of the story. And then around the 1:15 or 1:20 mark, I tried to kind of introduce other cultural references. I had a friend play this ancient Indian hammered dulcimer called the santur, which was originated in Mesopotamia originally, and had him play it kind of the wrong way, so it doesn't sound Indian, but it kind of might remind one of like the Isle.
Well, Nikhil, I really appreciate you coming to our show, and I'm really eager to follow you and see what else that you have to come up with. I'm really excited.
Thank you.
Let the people know here where they can find you and follow you and hear more of your beautiful music.
Yeah, you can find me on nikhilkmusic.com. That's NIKHILK music.com. Write to me either on Instagram or Twitter. I'm on those. Thank you so much.
And of course, all of those links will be below. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell everybody. Nikhil and his amazing music, they just need to listen to it. Okay, we have one more guest, my favorite really, who's backed by popular demand, the one, the only, the daughter of night, Lanfear. Hey Lanfear, welcome back.
Whatever. Somebody had to save this disaster of a show.
You mean like the disaster at the University of the Column Dan in Visaine?
That happened by design.
Mm-hmm. What you got for us today?
Well, since the last weeks that your pathetic show aired, I've received electric mail absolutely begging for my wisdom. Like this one from...
Wait, don't you mean electronic mail? Email?
Okay, boomer.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Dominated. Like I was saying. Like this one from @SarahCurlyWhirly on Twitter. Hey Lanfear, I've just been burdened with a new warder. I have an exclusive marriage only with my warders, and he seems to not like the idea. Obviously because I'm Aes Sedai and I'm not allowed to use compulsion, and my busty curves don't seem to be working. Please help. Beating heart art emoji. Prayer hands emoji. Okay, first of all, warders are stupid. Are you saying that as an Aes Sedai woman of this age, you can't take care of your own needs? Who needs a man when you've got Sadar just coursing through your veins? Ditch the camouflage bodyguards, curvy, and dominate this age with your lusty curves. Love, Lanfear. Next letter. Comment on Facebook asks, did you kill Asmodean? No, Comment. I did not kill that light-hugging traitor. Matt Hatch from the Dusty Wheel YouTube show did. Necrosage 2005. Ew. From Instagram asks, what are your thoughts on badgers? Badgers. They're more worthy of ruling the great Lord's domain than most of you pathetic, slimy human beings.
I'm sorry, Lanfear. I know your contract says be yourself. But could you just maybe be a little bit nicer to the fans?
Of course, Thomas. This one's from Valerie via email.
Perfect.
Hi, Lanfear. I met this really great guy. Tall, broad-shouldered, red hair, really handsome. We've been dating a few months. He's a great guy, but he says he can't commit because he's the reborn savior of mankind and his duty is heavier than a mountain. You know what? This. You know what? You want to lay your hands on my man? You're about to see a Sadar glow bomb. I will skin you alive and I will throw your carcass to the Trollocs. Is that you, Ilyenya? Is it? You don't have the guts to see me face to face, you little yellow-haired. You listen to me, you trollop. I was a better lay than you ever were. Just because you popped out a couple of kids for Luz and just, you know what? It doesn't make him the love of your life. He's the love of my life, you little. You can't even channel like me. Eat my Sadar.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all the social media stuff. And we'll see you all in a few weeks. If you're feeling brave enough, you should submit a question for Love Lanfear. Maybe she'll answer it in a future Love Lanfear segment. You can reply in the comments below. Shout out to, Lanfear. Or you can post it on any social media with the hashtag Love Lanfear. And if you want, you can email them to us directly at show@dragonmount.com. Until next time, I'm Thom. Peace.
Okay guys, that's our show. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Hey, we all love Wheel of Time, right? So if you have a friend that loves Wheel of Time, tell them about our show and share us on social media. We'll love you forever if you do. I'd also like to thank our show sponsors, Tor Books, and our wonderful Patreon community. If you'd like to get more insights to the Wheel of Time or see how our show is made, you can become a Patreon supporter. We've got a lot of big plans for the show, and your contributions will go a long way. And as always, subscribe to the channel and follow Dragon Mount on all social media. See you next time.